Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So before we get started, I want to apologise for the lack of content that's been uploaded to the channel. I have been really busy over the past few months, but now my concentration is on the channel, and from now on I'll be uploading more regularly. Now, this video is going to be a bit different because usually I'd upload a tutorial video, but lately I've been thinking about adding different types of content to the channel. So what I did was I made a post asking you guys what kind of content you wanted to see. And this video right here is one of the things you guys asked for. Now, don't worry, I will still be doing tutorials. This kind of video is just more for fun. So for this video, I've been asking you guys to send in some questions that you wanted the answers to. As always, you guys came through and you've been sending me questions. So I contacted some of my friends in the tattoo industry to get their answers to your questions so that I could share them with you guys. But before we start with the answers, I want to say that I'm really interested to find out what your answers to these questions are. So if you can, please comment down below what your answers to these questions are too. Now, I won't keep you waiting any longer, so here it is.
Don't start that. That was bad. That.
Shall I kill the continuity and like change shirt? And you'd be like, oh well, nice one for that.
The first tattoo I ever got, I wanted a koi carp, and we started it. And she did. She was like, "Oh, I'll just do an outline with no inking just to see how you get on." I hated it. I was like, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it," and I pussied out. And then eventually, yeah, we went through it, and it was just like carp on my leg with colour and stuff. But yeah, it's still one of my favourites.
I got this little 13 here, and I do Indian ink and a pin, which wasn't a super sensible thing, but we did it in a park, so you know that's cool. The second one, it's covered now, but I did two 13s, but the ones on those ones the wrong way around, even though that one's the right way around, so I don't really know how that happened. Yeah, well, they were my first tattoos. I've covered them up now, and I wish I hadn't, because it's cool just having your first tattoo, innit?
That one, it got done in Liverpool like a week after I was 18. Went in, put headphones in, didn't talk to the guy at all. I had no idea.
So my first tattoo was a little heart gun on the back end of my arm. I got it done when I was 16. He asked me for ID, kind of done the whole pat in pockets kind of thing, and said no, I don't have it with me. So yeah, I don't know how that worked, but yeah, it worked. And yeah, I got my first one when I was 16. And then the next one I got was like 2 days later from the same guy.
I wrote my mate's name, Ben, with a love heart on his knee like here, and he also wrote his name with a love heart on my knee right here. Which doesn't seem to make sense because now we both have his name and no one got my name. Looking back, I was like, that's a stupid decision, like it was in the back of a pub.
The first tattoo I did on a person was I did like an A on the lad who I apprenticed under, and it went quite well. It was like nice clean line, so I was like, yeah, this is easy this. And then next time after that was a mess, and I was like, oh. Bruh. But first tattoo on anything, I did like one of them was pigskin. It was one of the first few ones because I heard that you do pigskin while I was an apprentice. I didn't know that it goes off quick. And I was like, yeah, I'll put that in the fridge and just like tattoo it for the next few days. And I'd like open the fridge the next time and it was like a totally different colour. It was like brown and green. It stunk. It was disgusting. I took it into the shop as well, like on day 2, I think. And I was like, I brought my pigskin tattoo and I've got it out the bag and they've gone, whoa, what is that? It's like, do not get that out of the bag. I was like, I wanted to tattoo that. Yeah, they wouldn't let me.
First tattoo I ever did was on the guy who taught me. It was an upside down cross with an eye in the middle with a date, ADTR around it, a day to remember. Yeah, it was just terrible. To be fair, for an apprentice, it was good, but no, it was absolutely terrible.
I will have been about 14, and my mum were a tattoo artist before me. I've always wanted to do it since I was a kid, and I mithered, and I did nothing but draw. She was like, right, you can tattoo me, and she picked a tribal butterfly of all the things, and I remember I had to stencil it about 18 times before she'd let me tattoo it. But yeah, my first ever tattoo would have been about when I was about 14, tribal butterfly on my mum's hip. So yeah, that's what that one was.
I've got loads that are weird, like, because I always get chucked all in nutcases, to be fair. I had one guy who came in and he wanted a Polynesian sleeve, and I was like, yeah man, Polynesian the sound, I can do that. And he goes, but I want it like all like Dexter's Lab characters and like Ed, and Eddie and that. I was like, oh, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, I want the Ed and Eddie characters, but like they are made of Polynesian. It's like, hey, I don't know what you're picturing in your head, but I am not seeing that.
Queen, a portrait of the Queen with an AK-47. And I did it on a guy's chest.
I did have some guy who wanted like a half and half portrait of him and his missus, but he wanted them like on his forearms here, so like when he puts them together, it looks like him and his missus. But he wanted him on this side specifically and his missus on the other side specifically. And I was like, why do you want them on those specific places so much? He was like, because I use one arm for me and one for my missus. And then just looks at me like, I'm like, yeah. Don't really want to do that, it's a bit creepy really. It's not the weirdest, but the guy made it really weird.
Somebody come in, they just split up with the boyfriend, and she was trying to make it work and trying to get them back together. So she got his name like on the bikini line kind of thing. She went, showed him, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm not getting back with you. So yeah, that didn't work out so well for her. So she come in the next day and she was like, yeah, I want it gone. She asked for a panther. So I was like, but she wanted the panther in a certain way. I was like, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work properly because, you know, the area that you've got to work with. So explained all this to her, she still wanted it. So I was like, right, okay, well, you're gonna have to have it like this then. So basically how it went was it had the head kind of here on like the pubic bone, and then it went under and around onto a bump. So yeah, that was, yeah, but she wouldn't, like, that's how she wanted it. She didn't want to move on the idea. I was trying to tell her that it wouldn't work, but yeah, that was basically how she wanted it. Yeah, I refuse, you know, obviously, you know, anything racist. And yeah, I understand the joke ones and stuff, but you know, there's kind of a bit of a limit. You know, I'm not going to tattoo somebody's forehead and stuff like that. You know, it just because we thought it was funny one time. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Like obviously, like anything like racist and Nazi and stuff like that. Although when I first started, I probably done loads of that stuff without realising what it was. But yeah, anything full colour, anything where they try to cram loads of names in like a little tattoo. Well, I'll do most things as long as it's cool, really.
Yeah, I feel like there is things that you have to refuse as a tattoo artist, especially when it comes to stuff like anything that borderlines on racial or homophobic, sexist. But I mean, there's pattern work that has, you know, symbols in it and stuff like that, but they can be deemed as religious. But to the average person on the street, they'll think that's a Swazi, you know what I mean? I tend to just veer away from anything that's not a nice tattoo to get, you know, if it's offensive or anything like that.
Obviously, like, there's the standard one, like, you know, racist stuff and all the, you know, really offensive stuff. I do slightly, if it's a jokey offensive one, because I don't mind, like, a dark joke in that, but nothing like proper racist or anti-Semitic or anything like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think every tattooist has made a mistake, and if they're going to say no, I feel like they're lying.
Yeah, all the time. Nah. I think the main one I made when I was like really starting out, like the first few months, you'd stencil something and like a little bit of writing, and it's like, you know, really small writing. Just pick a 9-liner out, and it's like, yeah, that'll work. And you've done it, and it looks fine on the day. But then when it's healed, it's just blurred together. And that was when you discover, oh yeah, just because you physically can do it, doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. So some things can be, you know, a bit too small to tattoo, really.
I remember it's always the smaller ones as well. I remember tattooing an infinity symbol on a girl's wrist, and it should have just been bosh, done, gone. Did it once, wobbly as anything, and I'm like, oh god. So I went over it about 15 times, and she's like, yeah, I love it inside, like I'm ready to throw up and everything. But yeah, she was happy with it. It come out like all right, but it's always that thing, like you learn how to correct things, don't you? Unless you're a dude that misspells his own wife's name, and I've had that before, so that's an experience.
Yeah, I don't mind saying this on a video because the client was super cool about it. It wasn't even that long ago, so I did a sleeve on some guy and it was like Nosferatu at the top. Super happy with it. Then underneath it was like a creepy scene of a silhouette coming up the stairs. And underneath we were working out a word to write for ages. We did these cool like negative black letters. Best letters I've ever done. I was so happy with them, and we wrote the word embrace. And like took pictures, like spent ages on it, super happy, like big session just on these letters getting perfect. And I was wiping it down at the end after the picture before we wrapped it up and stuff. And I was like so happy with it, and I looked and I was like, there's no R. Oh no, there was no B in embrace. It said embrace. But the guy who got it was like a really cool guy, and he was like a really good artist. He did quite dark art like my stuff as well. In the end we fixed it, we put this like cool black work sort of V shape through the R, so it made both the letters, and it really looked like it was on purpose. My bum was going like that. It was terrible, but it was alright.
Yeah, I was tattooing a woman a while back. She was getting like a son's name. I asked her about 5 times because it didn't look right to me anyway. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure this is how you spell it? And she's like, yeah. So halfway through tattooing, the son walked in and he was like, yeah, you spelled my name wrong. I was like, I haven't spelled it wrong, bro. I haven't spelled it wrong, that's not me, I swear to God. That's it. Her reaction was just like the most blasé thing I've ever seen in my life. She was just like, yeah, it's alright, we'll just get your name changed, it's fine. I was like, oh my God.
So I've got lost on my head here, and I don't like the way it's done because it looks like you did it with a fork, but it also looks like it says Josh and toast, and a little bit like it says Rose in some places.
I've got loads of tattoos that I don't like. You know, when you're bored and you're in a studio by yourself and you just think, oh, I'll do that, and then you look back and you think, what were I thinking? Yeah, I've got loads of tattoos I don't like, but they all mean something. I always said I'd never get something covered up, but I think if I've done it myself, then definitely it's worth covering up because it was just there out of boredom. But if you go and get something and you're happy with it at the time, I feel like it's a bit of a memory. Yeah, tattoos that I don't like, definitely got a few of them.
Yeah, that has to be like portraits and really dark portraits. Anything realism. Weirdly enough, the odd mandala. I really like doing the odd mandala sometimes. It's kind of, I think it kind of takes me back to roots of tattooing and just starting off when I was just learning line work and stuff. I hate tattooing tribal.
So I love tattooing animal portraits, realistic, pets. Like I draw pet commissions for a living, so it kind of ties in with tattooing. Black and grey stuff. Sometimes I love getting a coil machine out and just absolutely blasting some traditional just for fun, you know. But mainly black and grey stuff.
Favourite thing to tattoo is like anything where someone's seeing like my stuff and they go, oh, I like this that you've done, I like the way you've done this. I'm like, cool. Doesn't matter what it is then, doesn't matter what the subject is, it's going to be something that I'll want to do. Love that, like I like all the portraits recently or just anything with loads of texture, love it. The thing that I hate tattooing the most is when somebody comes in and go, I've seen you doing really dark stuff, so I want a skull with like my dead nan on it or something. I'm like, it's a bit too far, man. You don't really get it.
The thing that I dread tattooing the most, Bible verses. Yeah, tiny little Bible verses scare me. There we go, I think that'll be it.
I hate tattooing. I've gone for hate straight away, haven't I? I hate tattooing chainmail because I've done that in the past where before I knew that it was a nightmare, I was like, chainmail, like on, you know, you have armour on the outside, chainmail all on the inside, it looks sick. And then like hour 6 of doing chainmail, I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare, my back's killing. So yeah, I don't like doing that. I like doing mandalas, I love doing, and anything realistic, but like mostly like realistic fantasy stuff, like mythology and all that. I love doing that.
I know where you live.
But I like my geography teacher's gonna love this.
Yeah, I'd say it has to be, can you not do it any cheaper? Yeah, that's like a bit of a pet peeve for me.
Probably something along the lines of, I've got really drunk last night. Probably something along them lines.
this like guy came in with his missus, and it was a beautiful story where they hadn't been together for years, and like high school sweethearts, and they got back together in like the late 20s. He came up and he was like, I want my girlfriend's name like on my finger, and his finger's like this big, so we were like, yeah, cool. And we did it, and then they left all happy, holding hands, and then he alone came back in like an hour later. And while they'd been split up for like the past year, she'd been like a dancer in a strip club, and he was like, I don't want this, I can't believe she's doing that, what's she like, I want this covering up with a black band. And we were like, alright, yeah, so we got it covered up with a black band, left. And anyway, like, it must have been like 2 hours later, just before we were about to like close the shop for the day, he comes running back in the shop and he's like, to be fair, girlfriend being a stripper is pretty cool, that, innit? We were just like, what's going on with this guy? So we got her name on the finger next to it. And I like to think he's just got a series of black bands and a series of the same name over and over again at this point. Like, but yeah, that was pretty weird. Yeah.
A friend of mine, now I asked him if I could tell this story. I'm going to leave his name out because it'd be a bit rude if I said his name to everyone in the world. But he wanted some writing on his back, 3 words, a sentence, right? And I did. You start from outwards, inwards, and I did 1 T on him, and he slipped off the bed, and he hit the wall. And me and my friend were there, and we were like, he's joking. He's like, he's not for real, this guy. 'Cause he started making some noises, and then he farted. He farted right in my face, and we were like, stop it! I could have ruined your tattoo then. We could have wrecked it. But yeah, we were absolutely out cold, fully. Like, so we thought he was joking, and he's there up floor making weird noises. We're like, come on, get up. And then he's like, oh, get the cold towel out. He's out cold. So yeah, a good sugary brew, and after that, you were alright. But yeah, that's probably a weird story that I've had.
I've just been stood there, 3 of us at the reception desk, and the door's just been booted in, and we're just all turning around like, what's going on? This guy sprints in and goes, oh, I want my name on my neck. And I was like, oh, yeah, sound. And those 2 leave. They're like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do tattoo, yeah. Oh God. And he was like, yeah, my name on my neck. And he shook my hand, and I was like, oh, I'm just getting ragged everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, sound. And then he's like, can you do it now? And I was like, I'm on my lunch break. And he's like, I'll pay it a bit more. I was like, okay, fine. And he's going, yeah, sound, nice one. So I'm ragging my hand again. I'm like, what the hell? So I think he shook my hand about 6 times in about 40 seconds. So I've done this, like, he's hyper, he's like running about like a nutcase. And I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be a nightmare to tattoo. He wanted it on his neck as well. And he's like jiggling about all the time. And then he's got on the bed and he's just silent and like, you know, proper the best sitter ever. And I was like, and then the second I've said to him, yeah, it's done, mate, he's jumped out of the bed. And he's gone, where's the mirror? And I got, it's over there. I had like a little step lip off my, where my station was. I was like a little step up to it. And he's not seeing this step. And he's gone, oh, there's the mirror. And I sprinted at this mirror. His ankle's just twisted on this step. And like normally when people fall, the natural reaction is like, you know, hands up. He's just gone like, and he just fell completely, arms to his side, just gone like that. And we had like a metal chair next to the mirror, and he's just gone, head has just gone bang into this metal chair. Everything's gone everywhere. And he's just jumped back up and gone, oh, sorry everyone, and then sprinted out the shop. And he'd already paid, like, but you know, he just sprinted out the shop. I hadn't even wrapped him up, and I still had my gloves. I was like, okay. And he came in a few times after that, to be fair. I was like, what? Yeah, I said, nutcase, honestly. Well, I'd love to see him again.
I think tattooing is the best job in the world, but it's also equally as stressful. I think dealing with a lot of ideas and stuff like that, it's the fact that you've got to be constantly creative if you want to strive to not just pick an image off Google and bash it on. You've constantly got to think of ideas and stuff, but if you're a creative person and you think, I really want to do tattooing because you like the art and you like the community behind it, I think it's great to get into. If you're looking into getting into it because of the money, or you think you see tattoo artists and you're like, oh, he's got a new watch and he's got a new car and he's got this, then you're doing it about the wrong thing. But if you love artwork and you think, oh, I'd love to tattoo that on someone, then totally, just find someone that you like and whose work you like, get tattooed by them, and just be like, oh, I'll do a little bit of drawing, and you never know, they might say, well, come and work for us, you know what I mean? It's not a TikTok trend, and it's not a buy a 10p needle off Amazon and try it at your mate's house. It's a lifestyle for people, and I think that's, if you take it seriously, then everyone deserves to have a go if they're taking it seriously, yeah.
Would I recommend getting into tattooing? Like, would I recommend? I mean, yeah, obviously, because it's worked out for me. I'd be like, everyone should do it. As long as you're doing your own thing, definitely. As long as you can actually draw, because like, if you can draw and then you start tattooing, it's great. You're gonna like go your own path, and it's gonna be great. No one's gonna be bothered you started. But a lot of these people, like, they want to start tattooing, and they want to learn how to draw as they're doing it. So you don't really know where you're going. You're not gonna be doing your own thing. It's not really going to work. I wouldn't recommend that then, because you don't know who you are. But if you could draw before, you can be amazing, make £1 million a day, and I'm not going to be bothered about it. But if you're crap and you're trying to just like cave your way through, it just seems like a bit of a waste, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's the only reason. But I think everyone should do it. I think it's dead cool. You can buy a Ferrari one day, maybe, or a bag of chips, one or the other.
I mean, yeah, I think it just depends on the reasons you get into it, really, because like, I think I always say to people, like, if you won 10 mil tomorrow, would you still look at getting an apprenticeship if you were rich? And if the answer is no, don't do it. Because like, you know, if you're getting into it for dosh, I wouldn't. And it's not always good dosh anyway, you know, it depends how much work you want to do, how much stress you want to go through. But it is good. I mean, it's my dream job, like, but yeah, it is effort to get into.
Yeah, I'd recommend getting into tattooing. If tattooing is just a cool job to you, then no. If it's just about getting a cool job and being that cool guy that everyone wants to know, no, I think the industry has enough of that. I think, like, you know, there's a lot of people in the industry now who can't actually draw and can't do anything. They couldn't design anything if they tried, and I think that's part of the problem. I think apprenticeships as well. I think apprenticeships are way too easy these days for a lot of people. And I think, you know, the old apprenticeship was, you know, a lot harder because it weeded out a lot of them. It got rid of a lot of them. It kind of got rid of all the ones that just wanted the cool job and didn't really care about the art or anything like that. So yeah, but yeah, I'd say it's a good job to get into. So, you know, some of the most interesting people I've met are tattoo artists, or I've met them through tattooing. So yeah, it kind of opens up the world a bit more. Well guys, that was it. Please don't forget to comment down below what your answers to those questions were. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you guys get notified anytime I upload. You can also message me directly on Instagram, so I'll be leaving a link in the description for that, so you can give me a follow. As always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.